What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique. I'm a fight guy, a Forbes contributor, and I also write for Heavy.com. And we are powered by Fight TV and presented by Bet Online. And it is time to talk UFC 250 predictions. Been going through every single last fight on this Let's card. Take a look now at Alonzo Menifield versus Devin Clark. This is another prelim fight. It should probably be the second fight that you see on the card that evening. And Alonzo Menifield, if you haven't seen him, he's another one that came from Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. He's a freak athletically, just in every way, shape, or form. I'm talking about strength. I'm talking about explosiveness, the length of his arms. Just the dude is he's one of those guys. He was a fantastic athlete as a football player, but I just think that you know, combat sports is definitely more up his alley, and he's pretty much shown that. I think it's a good slight step up for him taking on Devin Brown Bear Clark. As you can see, Bet Online has Alonzo Menifield as a -212 favorite. Devin Clark's a +182 underdog. But like I said, man, Menifield's just a freak athletically, as big and strong as they come in light heavyweight. To be honest, I got a comparison for you for Alonzo Menifield. He reminds me physically and athletically, and when you look at him from an explosion standpoint, he reminds me a little bit of Anthony Rumble Johnson. He really, really does. And he packs a similar wallop. Now, we don't have the history of knockouts that we have with Rumble to give that a direct comparison, but I'm calling it kind of early. I'm telling you, he's trending in a Rumble kind of a way, so we'll see what happens. Now, his thing of it is that he hasn't fought in a year. He had 2 fights that were canceled. One of them was against Devin Clark, so he got caught up in the whole pandemic and the delay thing. So he's been out of there for a year. So this is him just getting back into, the whole flow of things. So we'll see if the layoff does anything against him. Now, Clark is a smart fighter, and he has pretty solid grappling, just overall wrestling. But he has an inability sometimes, in my opinion, to handle an onslaught from an athletic guy who is coming and bringing the fight to him. And if you look at this matchup, that is exactly what he's faced with Menifield. But the thing about Menifield and what he has to be aware of, because Devin Clark, as I said, is a smart fighter. Menifield cannot get caught up too early with being overly aggressive and getting sloppy. That's something that he has kind of shown a little bit of a tendency to do. Gets into a situation where he may think he has a fighter or an opponent hurt, and then he kind of starts to throw technique out and starts just to depend on speed, athleticism, and power, and it can get him in some trouble. I'm not sure Devin Clark's the type of fighter that can take advantage of it, but he might be. For Clark to win this fight, though, he has to weather the storm early. If he can survive an early rush from Menifield, then he'll have a chance maybe at taking advantage of Menifield if he gets gas, which Menifield, if you look at him fight, you can imagine how mid-second round, late second round, he could start to get a little bit tired. All of that said, I still have to go with Menifield to get the victory. But if Devin Clark does win, that's going to have to be his path to victory. But just unfortunately for him, I don't think he will make it out of the first round. I think Menifield is going to bring that pain and bring those bombs. And I think that at some point, Clark just has a hard time evading it. Is just not able to get out of the way. Remember, we're talking about an octagon again in UFC Apex, where we're talking about a 25-foot octagon and not a 30-foot octagon. And in some matchups, that can be a factor. And I think that Menifield brings it to him, and I think that he overwhelms and ultimately stops Devin Clark with a first-round TKO.